Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So for today's video I thought I'd rank all of the missing episode animations. From the very first one, the invasion, to the most recent one, the Abominable Snowman. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so here's the tier list we're going to be using for this video. So the categories as ever are GOAT, greatest of all time. Then we have great. Then we have good and meh, and finally we have awful. So we're going to start off with the very first animation, of course, that they ever did, which is obviously the invasion, which I'm going to put in GOAT. Now, the reason why I've decided to put it at the very top is because, well, firstly, it's the very first animation, it's the one that, started it all off, as it were, and I know it's from like 2006, so nearly 20 years ago now, so it may look a bit like the animation style may look a bit outdated in some ways nowadays, but I would still say it holds up pretty well for most part. And yeah, as I say, it is what started us off really, so it has a very important it plays a very important role in the overall history of these animations, and so I feel like, yeah, it deserves to be at the very top. So next we come on to the Reign of Terror, which is unfortunately not going to join the invasion in the GOAT category. It's going to have to go, I'm afraid, in awful. Now, I think awful is maybe kind of the wrong words to use for this, because it's not terrible per se, but I feel like some of the Planet 55 animations we'll come on to later on are just an awful lot better than this one, really. And yeah, I think as a first attempt that Planet 55 did, it's fine, but yeah, it is very obviously a first attempt, and yeah, they would definitely get a lot better at these animations as they went along. So I believe next up we have the Ice Warriors, which is going to go in, say, meh. I don't really have kind of any strong opinions one way or another on it. I mean, I don't love it, but I don't hate it, and it's a completely fine enough animation, really. That's all there is to say. Then we next come to the 10th planet, which is going to go in good. Yeah, this is a massive step up for Planet 55 from the Reign of Terror, obviously, and yeah, it just works so much better, and yeah, is just better. Yeah, what else can I say? Then we have the Moon Base, and that is going to go in great, just because I feel like, even though the 10th Planet one was good, I feel like the Moon Base just, as I say, I feel like as Planet 55 went on with these animations, they just got better and better, and I feel like this is very much the case with the Moon Base. The 10th Planet one was very good, but the Moon Base just, just clinches it, or is slightly better, anyway, in my personal opinion, than the 10th Planet, but they're still both very, very good animations. Now, unfortunately, we had a bit of a break for about a year or two, I think it was. So the next one we come on to is the original version of The Power of the Daleks, which I'm going to put in, I will say meh, because yeah, I have some mixed feelings about it in some ways. Like, obviously, we'll come back to, like, the special edition that they did later on in 2020 is on this list as well, so we'll come back to that one later on. And I feel like, yeah, they definitely improved a lot with that one than they did compared to this original attempt at it, but it's still a solid enough animation attempt, really, and yeah, I don't despise it or anything, so yeah, it's just meh for me, really. So next we come on to... Oh, Sharda, the only story on this list that, of course, is from, the 1970s. Um, ooh, I'm just trying to think of where to put this here. I'll put it in... I'll put it in good. Yeah, because I feel like it is pretty good for most part. I'm glad that, we finally got Sharda complete, as it were, even though they've released like 1,000,001 versions of it over the years. But yeah, it's fine. I was a bit annoyed with the original release they did, when I think they just released it as a movie length version and didn't bother to try and edit it into, as it originally would have been, and that as a 6 25-minute episodes. But I think they've since done that when they released it as part of the season 17 collection box set. So yeah, not much else to say. And then we come to the Macro Terror, which is, gonna have to go in GOAT, just because, this story just really brings the animation, really brings the story to life, and it just does such a great job of, just, like I say, bringing it to life, and it really is just such a great animation. I know there's a whole controversy at the time that they got rid of the rough and tumble scene with the second Doctor, but honestly, I really don't mind that. If they have to cut out very unimportant, shall we say, scenes like that just to make the animation flow a bit better, then that's fine by me, really. So let me see, what do we come on to next? Oh, yes, we come on to the faceless ones, which I'm going to put in good. It's not quite as good as the Macro Terror, even though I believe it's a similar sort of style to it, or if not, very similar anyway. But yeah, it's not as good. But it still does a good job of bringing the story to life. So then we come on to... oh yeah, now we come on to the Power of the Daleks Special Edition, which I'm going to put in good as well. So yeah, this I just feel it just improves upon the original 2016 Power of the Daleks animation for me. And yeah, I just feel like it's a massive improvement. I think the only thing, again, that I vaguely negative I'd have to say is maybe I think they cut out the bit in episode 1 where the second Doctor is doing a little jig whilst playing his recorder, and I think again, just like the Macro Terror's rough and tumble scene, that is to make the animation flow a bit easier, and because it's difficult to replicate a scene like that in animation. So that's fair enough, yeah. I'm sorry I don't have much to say for a lot of these, but I think that is it for the Power of the Daleks Special Edition. So we next come on to... I'm sorry, I don't immediately remember all of the order of these animations, so it takes me a moment or two to remember what order they were released in, because that's obviously the order I'm doing them in. I think it was Fury from the Deep next, and that is going to go in... Ooh, I'm going to put it in great, because I love the story. Fury from the Deep is one of my favourite, stories, and I've probably given the game away a bit with my second Doctor story ranking there. But I feel like them trying to kind of what they did with the Macro Terror, in them trying to, be less faithful to the original version of that story, and trying to show the Macra as actual, giant crabs rather than just crab-like rubber costumes that don't look very convincing or very good, as is the case of the original. Fear from the Deep is very much like that. Again, it's not being very faithful to the original, which I don't mind as an idea of like the animators doing their own thing, still sticking to the broad strokes and the most important details of the story, but like fleshing out some of the monsters or sets or whatever. I don't really mind that personally, but I do feel like it is a bit jarring with some of the sets in the Fury from Deep animation because they're very realistic and like highly textured and everything, and then you've got these more cartoony sort of animated characters, as it were. And yeah, it just is a bit strange seeing them on those kind of sets and everything. I'm not sure if it necessarily works, but I feel like they kind of do better, Big Finish Creative, as they go along, just like Planet 55. So yeah, it's not bad for their first attempt. So then we come on to, I believe it is the infamous Web of Fear animation next. My favourite of all time. Now I'm going to have to put this in... Oh, sorry. I'm going to have to put this in awful because, yeah, I always feel bad whenever I slate this animation because I know that the animators have worked really, really hard on this, but honestly, I just don't think the technology is quite there yet for what they were attempting to do with this one. It maybe in a few more years it might get better, and we might maybe see more animations like this. I mean, who knows? Maybe the rumored Smugglers and Underwater Menace animations are going to be in this sort of style of Shapeshifter Studios, kind of mixing 2D with 3D, I think it is, or something. But yeah, at this moment in time, I would say that I don't think that the style that they were going for is quite there yet. But who knows, maybe that will change if they do more. But I'll have to wait and see about if they do any more or not. So then we come on to a much better animation, and that is The Evil of the Daleks, which I think is going to have to be in GOAT because, well, first of all, it's a really great story, but the animation itself, again, like the Macra Terror, just immediately brings it all to life, and especially like the later episodes, as soon as they get to Skaro with the Emperor Dalek and everything. I mean, it just really, it is so good to finally be able to actually watch those scenes, on Skaro in the Emperor Dalek's like throne room and everything. It's so great. Yeah, I think we're really, really lucky to have got The Evil of the Daleks animated, and yeah, it's a great story and it's a great animation. So now Galaxy 4. Now, unfortunately, this sorry about that. This is gonna have to go in meh because well, it's the animation itself is fine, but I feel like there's only so much you can do when there's just not much to a particular story. And this is very much the case of Galaxy 4, because the story itself is just, maybe not necessarily terrible, but it's just kind of not really, there's not much to it, essentially. There's not much of substance to it. So, and it could easily have been done in like an episode or two, and yet it feels, even though it's only a 4-part, it feels a bit dragged out and everything. But the animation itself does a decent enough job of bringing the story to life, and yeah, I have no complaints about the animation itself. So I suppose I'm being a bit unfair, really, but like I can't really justify putting it that much higher because, the animation is neither incredibly great or incredibly like terrible either, and then it's not the best story to begin with. So yeah, I feel like I can only really put it in meh, personally, anyway. So now we come on to the last, at least, or the latest, I should say, as of the time of recording this video anyway, and that is the Abominable Snowman, which I'm going to put in great. Yeah, really, really liked this animation, and a great one for them to, at least, unless the rumours about the underwater menace and the smugglers are to be believed, then it's a great one for them to finish off this current era of animations, really. But although I'm sure that, even if those rumours turn out to be false or untrue or whatever, I'm sure we'll eventually get more animations, maybe in 3 or 5 years' time or something like that. It's just a matter of time, essentially. But yeah, The Abominable Snowman, great story, great animation. Again, really brings it to life so well. And yeah, that is about it, really. But anyway, so there's my ranking of all the missing episode animations. But what are yours, and do you agree with mine or not? Please let me know in the comments section below. Anyway, so thanks for watching, hope you liked it. Please don't forget to press that subscribe button below, as well as press the bell icon at the side of it, so that you'll stay notified of when all my new videos come out. This channel currently has 861 subscribers as of the time of writing and recording this video. But if we can get to 1,000 by the end of this year, then I will do my very own fan-made audio story. Also, please rate, and I shall see you all in another video. So, until next time, bye bye!